Good morning, everybody. We're team number 8, and we're going to do our industry leader presentation on Bonnie Hammer. We want to start off with a quick quote from Bonnie. I always volunteered for things a step above of what I knew how to do.
A little about Bonnie and her personal life. She was born into a Jewish family in 1950. She was raised in Queens, New York, and she currently lives in Westport, Connecticut with her husband, Dale Hessner. She is the youngest of 3 children. Her mother was a full time mom, while her father was a Russian immigrant that owned his very own pen company. Bonnie is also a photographer and has had her work featured in galleries and has been published in places such as Time Magazine and Boston Globe. A little about Bonnie's experience. Bonnie Hammer is an American businesswoman and network executive. Holding the position of chairman, it is Bonnie's responsibility to oversee the leading cable brands of NBC Universal cable channels. Some awards that Bonnie has received are she has been named to Hollywood Reporter's Power 100, an annual list of the most influential women in Hollywood. She's also won the National Association of Television Programming Executives 2007 Brendan Legacy Award. She was inducted into Broadcasting and Cable's Hall of Fame. She was named one of the world's 100 most powerful women in Forbes, and Bonnie was given the 2010 Vanguard Award for Distinguished Leadership from the National Cable Television Association.
So now we want to move on to talk about what leadership truths Bonnie displays in her work. Credibility is the foundation of leadership. In 2011, USA, one of the channels that Hammer handled, had been the top-rated channel in the cable for 22 consecutive quarters. As a leader, being successful is something that creates credibility within an organization. Hammer believes in herself and has no problem with taking big decisions. During the first day of shooting the major hit series Taken, an alien abduction series that had a budget of $40 million, Hammer didn't like the child actors enough and pushed the show's producer into getting another actress to play the part, and ended up convincing Steven Spielberg, the executive producer, to use Dakota Fanning instead. Focusing on the future sets leaders apart. Even though that stations that Hammer oversees are successful, she is always looking to improve and thinking about what they can do better in the future. In an interview with New York Times in 2011, she said that her biggest challenge was to rebrand the E! Channel. Even though the station was financially successful, she believed that it could do much better, and she planned to make the channel more credible and clever. Bonner herself explains that if you're not always thinking about the storms that are about to come, you're going to be in a big trouble. You either lead by example or you don't lead at all. Being known for great attitude and setting great examples of how to operate in the business world, Hammer got her a promotion in 2013, and at that time she became the chairman of NBC Universal Cable. NBC Universal Chief Executive Steve Burke, an obvious fan of Bonnie Hammer, explained that for a creative executive, Hammer is as together and organized as anyone he has ever met. Sees the whole package in his words. Being in that type of industry and position where Hammer needs to be both creative and have a business mindset, being organized is vital, and Hammer sets a great example for her employees, and inside the company she has a big fan base known as Team Bonnie.
Ask almost any woman in her 60s, and she'll tell you that while she may feel like 40, vital, vigorous, and engaged, her valuation has changed. In the beginnings of her career, Bonnie did not really deal with gender discrimination against her. What she did notice is as she grew older, because of her self confidence and her value within herself, she did notice that a lot of her actresses in her projects, like Royal Pains, did come up to her to explain to her the belittlement that they received because of their age. A lot of people in the entertainment industry believe that women reach a limitation once they reach the age of 40, that they can no longer work in the industry that they are in, and that they have reached their peak and should retire soon. Handling a big cable shakeup takes its toll on an executive, and with all the developments that we have had in the past 10 years, Bonnie Hammer has had to face many challenges with new technologies and had to make many different changes regarding how she operates her business. As she describes, in this rapidly changing media environment, the biggest challenge is not only adapting to change, but staying one step ahead of it. Hammer has had several different owners with her company and always maintains to be one of the executives that the new owners always wants to hold on to, as they have a big trust in her and know that she has managed to overcome these challenges.
To summarize things up, Bonnie Hammer is a very ambitious businesswoman that sets a great example for all of her employees and as well as for people that want to get into the entertainment industry. She has managed to have a family and work her way to become one of the most powerful women in the entertainment industry. She's a great influencer, and that shows by how she manages to create a solid fan base within NBC Universal, and as mentioned earlier, they are called Team Bonnie. Her success speaks for itself, and she's not afraid to take big decisions, and that's something that has helped Bonnie Hammer to not only become a great executive, but a great leader. We thank you for your attention, and here are references and picture citations.